Hey guys, so here we are, we're inside my apartment. We're not in the car this time, so we're actually gonna do a different video today instead of like one of my random rants on life situations. We're gonna do a cooking video today. But we get to do a little sneak peek of the apartment because a lot of you guys have been asking. Let's get a look. Here we are, we have our little game section. Let's go down the list. Who's the monkey working this camera? Yeah, we just got different games. If you guys see any that you recognize, we're pretty fun to have at parties, I guess. So here we are. Here's where I usually sit. Here's all the other couches. Got the rest of the room. Here's our giant flat screen. And here we are in the kitchen itself. So here we are, we're cooking in the kitchen here. This is where I usually spend most of my time throughout the day. I'm gonna be here cooking, but today we're making something interesting. It's gonna be Xing Xiao. So it's like a dumpling soup. So I believe it's a Vietnamese recipe. I'm very sorry if I get that wrong. I just saw a streamer making it once and I was like, let's do it, let's make a video about it. So I've never made it before. I'm gonna start up by cutting up some bacon and got that going. It's like it was a bacon slab, but then I cut it up. So here's the kitchen, a bunch of our workout supplement stuff. That's pretty cool. As a streamer, you gotta make sure to get your supplements in to make sure that you're feeling good when you're about to stream. Pro tip. All right, so here's another pro tip. When you're cooking, you gotta make sure that everything looks super nice. Now in here we have, I don't know if you guys can see that. Alright, so in here we have chicken wings, we have scallions, we have some ginger root, a little inch knob. What else we're gonna add to this is white peppercorns and the bacon slab, which I'm super excited about. So once we cut up the bacon slab, we'll be done with this area, and I'll be grouping up with my roommate Bryce here later on. So when this is done, we're making the broth. This is all that's we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be making the broth. We're gonna be covering this up with water, and once it's covered up with water, we let it cook for 2.5 hours, and then once it's cooking for 2.5 hours, we let it sit in the refrigerator for about 8 so that it can turn into this gelatinous soup. So it just becomes a gel, kind of, like a thick, like a thick broth. We take out all the chicken, the bacon, all the actual physical properties of the soup here, and we just add it to, we just take the broth. That's all we need. I mean, sure, you could probably eat the rest of the stuff if we wanted to, but not what we're looking for. So we're gonna turn it into a gelatinous broth, and then we'll put that into the dumpling. And I think once we put that into the dumpling, we let it steam over time. The hardest part, I think, is gonna be making the actual dumpling, if I'm saying that right, or the bao. The bao, like you need to like pinch it, and I don't know, it's kind of weird. I'll have to show you guys how it's doing once I get my roommate Bryce to work with me. We're both great cooks, and we have not cooked together before, which is kind of weird. So let's get to it. Okay, so we implemented the bacon into the stock. It looks pretty awesome. Wha-bam! It looks great. Actually, it looks pretty good. Got the scallions, the chicken wings, the bacon slab, and the ginger root. We got that all in there. Now we're just going to apply the water. We just need enough that it covers. Now I got a lot of water because it's a pretty big pot. Just need enough to cover. There we go. I think most of it got into the stove than actually into the pot, but there we go. Now we're gonna let this cook for 2.5 hours, and then we're gonna put it into the fridge and try to make a gel out of this so that we can put something into the dough recipe for the bao. Oh yeah, one more thing. We forgot the kosher salt and the white black peppercorns. We need to also add that into the dish as well. Let's bring that over. Put that all in. And then we'll mix it up. and we will let this cook for 2.5 hours. We're gonna mix this up. Don't worry, it's not gonna sit like this. But yeah, we'll mix this up and we'll get back to you after the gel's down. And the next part is to actually make the filling for the dumpling. As you can see here, now we have the stock broth being boiled. So once it gets to a boil, we're supposed to bring it to a simmer. So now that you can see that the chicken's getting cooked, the bacon's getting cooked, everything looks like it's kind of meshing together. Looks nice, in a brown looking color to the broth as well. And we'll let this simmer for 2.5 hours, and we're gonna bring it into the fridge and let it semi-gel up for about 8. All right, see you. All right, so here we have the filling that's gonna go into the dumplings. It's got, looks like we got some shrimp here, some pork there. Most of it's like pork. We got some scallions, the green parts of the scallion. And then there's sugar, like a couple teaspoons of sugar. There's about a tablespoon of Xing Xiao wine. And then there's 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. And there's salt to taste. So there we go. We have the filling. And it's about a 1/4 pound of shrimp and about a 1/3 pound of pork, ground pork. And scallions, however much you want of that green parts of the scallion. Okay, so let's start to blend this. It's gonna be 1 second of 15 pulses of this, and we should have a paste going on. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. All right, here we are. We have the mixture of the filling for the soup dumplings all done. I put a saran wrap over it. We're gonna put it in the fridge and let it chill until we're ready to get that gel from the broth done, which should take another like 7 hours. The dough turned out a lot better than I thought. It was a lot easier. So we rolled the dough into a giant ball, and then we cut it into 4 pieces. And here's one I've rolled out, and now I'm cutting it by inch pieces. I mean, sure, I probably could have eyeballed it, but I had a roller nearby, so why not? We have that going, and we're gonna cut them all up, and then we're gonna start making them into the wrappers for the stuffing and the soup gelatin. So here we have over here, we have the soup gelatin. It's been finally been refrigerating for a while. As you can see, it's like goop now. It's not soup anymore, it's just goop. So it's not liquidy, it's just turned into like a gelatin, like a really, just turned into like a really soft gelatin. And we're gonna put that, mix that with the stuffing here, and I'll get back to you once we fill out the wrappers with the dough that we have over here. Be right back. Okay, so now we have the dumplings inside the bamboo steamer. And this has already been steaming up. We're gonna let this steam for another 5 minutes, and we'll let you know how it goes after that. All right, here we have the final product. It's just, here we got our black vinegar, soy sauce, sesame oil, and ginger mix. And here we have the actual, so what you do is there's soup that's inside this, so it becomes the little soup gelatins that we put inside this. Got melted after the steaming process, and now that when you take a bite, it will release the soup, and that's what you drink out of first, and then you dip it into the vinegar here, the vinegar mixture, and you're able to eat. All right, thanks for watching, guys.